What we got for entertainment? We've got some books, pads for writing, you know, no TV, not even a radio in here, no phones, no iPads, very daunting. So I'm pretty sure this is Anne Frank's room, and I've actually been here for real, and it looks exactly the same. So just imagine that these windows would have been blacked out. So if they had any lights on, no lights could escape to, you know, let the Germans outside who would be paroled in the streets, you know, let them know that someone was actually in here. Hey there guys, I'm Andy the Player, because I'm a player, baby. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be playing Anne Frank House VR. I'm not really playing it, it's more of an experience. It's literally a tour of Anne Frank's house. If you've ever actually been to her real house in Amsterdam, which I really do recommend, I love traveling myself. I've been to her house, and you know, you go behind the staircase and open up the whole annex of her other house, and where she hid, you know, during the war from the Germans, the Nazis. Yeah, it's so surreal actually going there. So to have the actual opportunity to do it in VR, which looks pretty much identical, and graphics are really good as well. If you've never actually been to her house for real, to do it on VR, it's really immersive. It does feel like you're there, and it feels exactly the same. Like the whole furniture is done exactly the same way as it is actually in her museum itself. So yeah, if you can't get the chance to go to her house, do it in VR, you'll get a really good experience of doing it. So I'm just going to do a little tour going through what it is. This experience tells you a little bit of history of what her life was like, and obviously you also get to go through her house and up and down the stairs and go into different rooms and go into her actual main room where she was hiding, and yeah, it's really interesting, really cool. So yeah, we're just gonna give it a go, see what it looks like, and let's see what your thoughts are. But yeah, this is Anne Frank's house in VR. So as I said before, there's two options. We've either got story mode or tour mode. Story mode is just literally just learning about her life and what she did to hide from the Germans. It's a very, very fascinating story. If you don't know, surely people must know about Anne Frank, but if you don't, I thoroughly recommend checking that out. And then there's also tour mode, where you literally go around her house. You can't do tour mode without doing story mode first, it looks like. So I'm going to have to do story mode. Yeah, everyone should know about this brave little girl and her story. Yeah, so let's go and check this out then.
On the 12th of June 1929, Anne Frank is born in Frankfurt, Germany. She is the second child of Jewish parents, Otto and Edith Frank. Her older sister is called Margot. In 1933, when Anne is 3 years old, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rise to power in Germany. The Nazis, building on existing anti-Jewish sentiments, blame the Jews for many of Germany's problems, and Hitler's government soon passes laws that turn Jews into second-class citizens. As a result, many German Jews decide to leave Germany and seek refuge elsewhere. The Frank family moves to Amsterdam, the Dutch capital, where Otto Frank establishes his own business. The family settles in, leading a normal life for a number of years.
Now you can obviously keep on going and listen to her story. You know, I know about her story, I've been to her house, and I've already listened to that before. Once you've done the story, you then get to go through her house and literally tour the whole building as what it is actually like to this day. So if you don't know her house, there's like two sections of the house. So all over here and downstairs, this is like the first half. You come to this bookcase and you think, well, this is just a room, like it just ends here. But the whole secret was behind the bookcase was this whole other part of the house, or also called an annex. That was where she was hid, so that's how she wasn't found, well, until she was in the end. Anyway, let's go and explore this. So point and click to move. So let's click at those footsteps.
Countless friends and acquaintances are on their way to a horrible destination. Night after night, the green or grey military vehicles drive by, ring every bell to ask if Jews live there. If so, the whole family has to go along right away. If not, they move on. No one can escape their fate unless they go into hiding.
Cool, so you can't actually interact with objects. It's just literally just walking around these rooms and just looking in 360 degrees. So we need to walk up to this bookcase, grab it, and literally put it open. And the amazement,
our hiding place has now become a true hiding
another
place.
door.
Mr. Kugler, you see, thought it would be better to place a cupboard in front of our door. But then, of course, a cupboard unhinges, that can open like a door. Now, when we want to go downstairs, we have to duck first, then jump. After 3 days, we were all walking around with bumps on our foreheads, because everyone kept banging their heads against the low doorway. Peter then made the door frame as soft as possible by nailing to it a cloth full of wood shavings. We'll see if it helps.
Cool, so that was the door that we just came through. Around the places you'll be able to click on these kind of circles, these kind of options that give you a little bit of information about the place. So let's just click on this.
Straight across from the door, a steep set of stairs. To the left, a little hallway and a room, which is to be the Frank family's living room and bedroom.
So let's go in here then.
Of course, we are never allowed to look out the window or go outside. During the day, we always have to walk quietly and speak softly. The people in the warehouse mustn't hear us.
So this was this Anne's parents' rooms, I believe? And immediately single beds, you know, not double beds, not living in luxury, all very basic here. What we got for entertainment, we got some books, pads for writing, you know, no TV, not even a radio in here, you know, no phones, no iPads, very daunting.
It weighs on me more heavily than I can say that we can never go out. And I'm terribly afraid that we will be caught and executed. That, of course, is not a very pleasant prospect.
Got the option to pick up a book
We
here
always
as well.
look forward to those Saturdays, because that's when the books arrive. Normal people don't know how much books mean to someone who is locked up. Reading, studying, and the radio are our only distractions.
So as you can see, like, it looks pretty decent graphics. You know, it does actually feel like I'm standing in this room. And to think, you know, these people, as I said, they weren't allowed to go outside. They had to be, you know, stuck in their rooms. I just can't imagine what life would have been like as
It's
well.
terrible being sick in here. Whenever I had to cough, I would crawl down deeper under the blankets and try to quieten my throat as gently as possible. But enough about being sick now. I'm feeling dandy again. I've grown half an inch, put on 2 pounds, pale and eager to learn.
Right, let's go to the next room.
Our little room, with its stern walls, was very bare until now, thanks to Father, who had brought my whole collection of picture postcards and movie stars here beforehand. I have been able to treat the walls with a pot of glue and a brush, and so turn the entire room into one big picture.
So I'm pretty sure this is Anne Frank's room, and I've actually been here for real, and it looks exactly the same. Even to go as far as all these photographs and pictures on the wall, it's in such detail. It literally feels like I'm back in Amsterdam again. It's really weird. You've got such detail, you literally just see Anne in different photographs. Look how close the beds are together as well.
Writing lets me get rid of it all. My sorrow disappears, my courage is revived. But, and that's the main question, will I ever be able to write something great? Will I ever be a journalist and a writer? I hope, oh, I do so hope I will, because writing lets me register everything, my thoughts, my ideals, and my fantasies.
So we can pick up these binoculars.
As of yesterday, I have found something new. For instance, using a good pair of binoculars to spy on the lighted rooms of the people who live behind us. During the day, we are not allowed to open the curtains even an inch, but when it's so dark, there can be no harm in it.
So just imagine that these windows would have been blacked out. So if they had any lights on, no lights could escape to, you know, let the Germans outside who would be paroled in the streets, you know, let them know that someone was actually in here. I've forgotten how long that they were in hiding for, but it was quite a while.
My hopes are fixed on the time that will come after the war. I would love to go to Paris for a year and London for a year, to learn the language and study art history. I feel bad for lying in a warm bed, while my dearest friends are out there somewhere, thrown or fallen to the ground. I even become afraid myself when I think about all those to whom I have always felt so close, and who are now in the hands of the cruelest brutes who ever existed. And that only because they are Jews.
I think I remember literally standing in this position in her actual house, in her bedroom, and just literally just staring here at the corner. There was no one in the room at the time. I was just thinking to myself, you know, just looking down and just pretending that she was on the bed and trying to live her, you know, live her life through her eyes, and just thinking, you know, she'd be here just not doing anything, just trying to survive, you know, not be caught. It's a very weird experience. But yeah, I remember literally just standing in this position, just going, God, how did she do it? Alright, let's go to the next room.
Margot and Mother are on pins and needles. Shh, Father. Quiet, Otto. Shh. It's 8:30. Come here now. You can't run the water anymore. Walk quietly. These are the various cries that go out to Father in the bathroom. At the stroke of 8:30, he must be in the room. Not a drop of water, no walking, everything quiet. When there's no one in the office downstairs, everything sounds so much louder in the storeroom.
You just see the you know, just all the details. They've done really well, the developers, of making this little experience. So this was her toilet, pretty basic.
I have changed, and very thoroughly too. Totally and in every way. My opinions, outlook, judgment, appearance, inner life, everything has changed, and I am pleased to say, because it's true, for the better.
Go to the next room. Try going upstairs now.
If one climbs the stairs and opens the door at the top, one is amazed to find such a large, light and spacious room in such an old canal house. The kitchen, in other words, and also the bedroom of Mr. and Mrs. Van Pels, the common living room, dining room and study. That difference, that huge difference, is always there. One day we're laughing about the ridiculous side of being in hiding, but the next day, and for many days after that, we are afraid. You can see the fear, tension and despair on our faces.
So you can see in the living room, they used to play board games here. So we got a game called, I don't even know what that says, but kind of looks, you know, a bit like Monopoly. Got some cash there, different cards, got to go around the edges, fruit, dishes, cutlery, and you know, imagine that they'd all pretty much be surrounded in this room. It's really weird to look at it like that.
This is the BBC Home Service. Here is a special bulletin.
This is the day, the English radio said at 12 o'clock. And rightly so, this is the day. The invasion has begun. The annex in an uproar. Could it really be that the long-awaited liberation is on its way? The liberation about which we've talked so much, but that is still too lovely, too fabulous to ever come true. Could this year, this 1944, grant us victory? We don't know yet either, but the hope that springs eternal makes us brave, gives us renewed strength.
All the detail, like this looks like I'm actually standing by her table here, trying to pick up these beads of jewellery here. It'd be really good if you could actually interact with the objects. That would have probably been one step further for the immersive experience. I don't know, maybe too much effort to incorporate that into the game and try to design that in kind of coded language. Can you read the newspaper here? Oh no, not really. It does give you a sense of reality of actually being here and like, wow, this is what it would have been like living in these kind of conditions. Interact the plates.
During the 21 months we've been here, we have gone through quite a number of food periods. By food periods, I mean periods during which one gets nothing else to eat but a certain dish or certain vegetables. It is not nice at all to have to eat sauerkraut, for example, every day at lunch and at dinner again. But when you're hungry, there are lots of things you put up with.
So listening to that segment, it's pretty much that they were prisoners really in their own home. They weren't allowed to do much, they weren't even allowed to eat that much because they couldn't exactly go down to the shops and just buy some more, you know, groceries and more food. So they had to limit their supplies and you know, be on rations, so just to live on sauerkraut. As nice as it is, but eating that for lunch and dinner, just that every day, will get to you a little bit. Alright, let's see if we can go to the next room.
When you knock on his door early in the evening and hear someone quietly call out, "Yes, yes," then you can be sure that when you open the door, you will find him peeking out at you from between 2 steps of the stairs to the loft, and that he will usually continue with a rather welcoming "so." His little room is, well, what is it really? I think a sort of landing on the way to the loft. very small,
Very small.
very dark and very humid. But he has made it into a real bedroom.
Yeah, looks quite cute. Let's pick this up.
Whenever I went upstairs to Peter's room by daylight, I always found the atmosphere very cheerful. I watched for an opportunity to remain in the room unnoticed and to get him talking, and yesterday that opportunity arose. Peter, by the way, has suddenly developed a mania for crossword puzzles and does nothing else these days. I helped him with it, and soon we were sitting across from each other at his table, he in the chair, me on the divan. Do you really think that father and mother would approve of me sitting on a divan with a boy, kissing? A boy of 17 and a half and a girl of almost 15? I don't really think so. But I have to rely on myself in this case. It's so peaceful and safe to lie in his arms and to dream. It is so exciting to feel his cheek against mine. It's so lovely to know that someone is waiting for me.
Oh, I didn't know that she had those kind of intimacies with one of the guys.
I've reached the point where it doesn't matter much anymore whether I die or whether I live on. The world will go on spinning without me, and I can't do anything to change events anyway. I let it come and do nothing but study, and hope that things will turn out well.
You can just hear the distant noise of vehicles and patrolmen outside. It makes it just a bit more realistic. And even walking, and you can hear the floorboards creaking. But you've got to imagine that if you're actually here for real, that when walking around, you have to be so quiet that even a floorboard creak, you don't want someone else outside hearing you, letting you know that people are actually here.
I go up to the loft almost every morning to let the stuffy indoor air blow out of my lungs. This morning, when I went to the loft again, Peter was there cleaning up. He was done quickly, and while I was sitting at my favorite spot on the floor, he came over too. The two of us looked at the beautiful blue of the sky, at the bare chestnut tree with little drops glistening on its branches, at the seagulls and other birds that seemed made of silver in the sunlight, and all of that moved and touched both of us, so that we could no longer speak.
Also, it's just occurred to me that all these words and the narrator speaking here, this is actually Anne's words in her book that she wrote. So you just got to imagine that this is a girl of 15 speaking here, and she talks like she's a full-on adult, an actual author. Yeah, she was so talented for her age.
That is the difficult thing these days. Ideals, dreams, lovely expectations barely rise up before being struck down by the most horrible of realities, and so destroyed completely. I see how the world is gradually being transformed into a wasteland. More and more loudly, I hear the incoming thunder that will kill us too. I feel the suffering of millions of people, and still, when I look at the sky, I think that all this will finally turn out for the good. That this hardness too will stop. That calm and peace will return to the world order. In the meantime, I must keep my ideals high and dry. In the days that are coming, I may actually be able to carry them out.
On the morning of the 4th of August, 1944, the hope Anne is holding on to is suddenly all lost. The hiding place is discovered, and police barge into the annex, arresting everyone. The group is transferred to Auschwitz. Men and women are separated upon arrival. After 2 months, Anne and her sister Margot are transferred to Bergen-Belsen. The living circumstances in the camp are horrific. And in February 1945, Anne and Margot both die from illness and exhaustion, 2 months before the camp is liberated. Of the entire group, only Otto Frank survives the camps. When he returns to the Netherlands, he finds the annex completely ransacked. Most of Anne's writings, however, had been safeguarded after the raid by one of the helpers, Miep Gies. When it becomes clear that Anne has died, they are handed over to Otto. Upon discovering Anne wanted to publish a book about her experiences, he decides to fulfill her wish. In 1952, Diary of a Young Girl is published in English. It will become one of the most read books in the world, translated into more than 70 languages.
And there we go, that's Anne Frank's house. Yeah, if you haven't been there before, then hopefully you got a kind of an idea of what it would have been like to actually go there. But definitely check out her actual story and even just learning a little bit more about the war, because it's all very interesting. I did know the whole story about Anne Frank, but yeah, over the years I've forgotten about it, so I would like to go and research a little bit more into that, you know, the people that she lived with, and there's a few conspiracy theories on how she got found out. I can't remember now, is it one of the people that she was living with like told someone or told on them, and then that's how the soldiers and the police found them? I don't know, there's a couple of theories on how she got found out, but yeah, very sad. I forgot that when she got taken to the concentration camps, although she died of hunger or illness problems, she was only 2 months away from, you know, being liberated, and they would have all been let free. So if she just hung on for another 2 more months, she would have been alive probably to this day. Yeah, it's very sad. So only one person made it out alive out of the 7, was it? 7, 8? I can't remember now. Otto, is that a dad or a friend? I don't know the whole story, I've forgotten it. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's completely free. I think it's on a lot of platforms now. Yeah, you just got to give it to her. She was nearly 15 years old, and just how brave, and yeah, just her writing skills were just brilliant. I mean, that's why it's one of the world's most known books to this day. Fascinating. So that's that. That is Anne Frank's house in VR. Hopefully you liked it. Have you actually been there yourself? I mean, did it look like the same? I mean, I don't think that they've changed it. I mean, I went, yeah, literally 2-3 years ago, maybe more, and it looked the same to me now. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As always, I've been Andy the Player. Keep playing as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.